So, when we're honest with ourselves about how we are actually feeling, I like to say where we're at right now, we're able to do something about it. We're able to offer ourselves the relief, the compassion, the solution that we need to keep ourselves feeling okay. Welcome to Matters of the Mind Rise to Your Worth. I am your host, Matt Gerlach. I am a transformational life coach. I work with entrepreneurs and executives, helping you create incredibly impactful, profitable, and fulfilling lives and businesses. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, I want to talk about something that I have found to be really interesting right now in this time of so much change. All of our lives are going through changes that we have never dealt with before. Change is happening right now at an absolutely unprecedented speed. And I am actually really worried right now for people who are resistant to change. Let me be clear. None of us love change all the time. And right now, it's just what's being asked of us. There is so much going on in the world. I think that ever since the pandemic, we have been just in this place of just uncertainty and change. And we can't do much to change that change is happening. I've been noticing something. I feel like in every obstacle, in every challenge, in every problem, there are two elements. There is the element that we can actually do something about, and there is the element that we cannot. The element that we cannot do something about are the things that are outside of our control. The element that we can do something about is the part that is inside our control. Guess what is within our control? Our reaction to the obstacle. There is a man named Viktor Frankl who wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. He is a Holocaust survivor, and he is incredibly prolific in terms of helping people deal with the grief that they undoubtedly are going to face in life. He experienced atrocious grief in the concentration camps that he was in. Many of his family members were killed right in front of him. And this book has gone on to be a beacon of hope and of resolution for people that are experiencing or that have experienced grief. He teaches us that the only element that we are able to really control in a situation that is horrific is our reaction to it. It's our feeling about that experience. And this isn't meant to undermine the severity that some of us face. It's not meant to accept it. It's not meant to be pushed over and just say this is life. It's a coping strategy. It's a coping skill. And we kind of have two options. We can either be upset about the thing that happened, we can be throwing things, we can be irate about something that happened, and the reality is that by acting like that, we're not going to be able to change anything about it. But when we detach ourselves from the how did this happen? This isn't fair. This sucks. Why did this happen to me? When we detach ourselves from that, and don't get me wrong, those are all legitimate feelings. They're all legitimate questions that we deserve answers to. We deserve answers to them, but the reality is oftentimes there's not answers. As I've talked about these past few weeks, aside from everything else going on in the world, I'm in the biggest change period of my entire life. David and I are becoming fathers. We actually just met our donor, the egg donor, a couple days ago, and it really made this all real. We weren't sure if we were going to meet her. David and I have an incredible amount of compassion and respect for the donor and also the surrogate who is going to be carrying our baby, for both of them, for what they're doing for us, that we really want to be respectful and really want to honor their wishes. And the donor wasn't really clear that she wanted to meet us. So about a week ago, she reached out to us and we met her, and it made this all real. I've seen a couple of my friends. My brother just had a baby. I'm seeing what this journey is like. And there's never a good time to become a parent. There's always going to be so many things thrown our way. And it's really provoked me to reach a level of acceptance and just surrendering to this journey and what's going to happen. We just can't plan for everything. And it feels really good to not try to control everything, to accept that there's a part of life that happens that we just kind of have to let go, because the controlling of it is just so difficult. I mean, it's just not getting us anywhere. I'm also in a career change right now. Many of you know I left my $1 million a year consulting business because it was no longer fulfilling for me anymore. This growth journey I've been on, I've learned to get to know myself. I've learned to get to understand what authenticity means. I get to understand my purpose in life. And this journey hasn't just been for me. I have gone from a place where I used to be so anxious and depressed to where I ended up in the hospital 2 times, to where I learned to value myself, assert my worth and boundaries, to where I grew my business to where I was making $1 million a year. And I don't say this to brag at all. I say this just because I want you to see what's possible when we embrace a growth journey and change the things about our life that we desire to change. Like, we can change anything about our lives, and I am a testament to that, which is why I talk about this. And it's led me to where I abandoned the limiting beliefs, learned how to work through all of the trauma of my childhood, where quite frankly I thought I was too damaged and broken to become a father. And it's got me here to where, just professionally, I've just met too many people who have incredibly fulfilling careers doing what they want with their lives, what they were meant to do. And I've decided that it's my turn too. So there's a lot of change happening in my life. We also have the change that's going on in the world, politically, environmentally, economically. There's just a lot going on right now. And I'm realizing that I'm just getting better and better by the day in terms of embracing this. And it's all started. Every day begins with me being honest with myself about just where I'm at, how I'm feeling. And that kind of provokes oftentimes an immediate answer, an immediate reaction. Like, I might wake up and realize, oh, like, you're actually feeling kind of volatile inside, or kind of erratic inside, and grounding is the answer. Well, then that provokes me to go to yoga rather than going to the gym, or rather than doing something that's going to work me up more. It also provokes me to maybe have one less cup of coffee. It provokes me to spend my day writing versus doing some other form of work that might not be so grounding. It's like when we're hungry. It's like when our body is telling us we need food. You know the term hangry, right? Well, that happens when we are hungry and denying what we need inside of us. Right now, with all of the change that's going on, I'm really realizing that I'm a bit overstimulated right now. Admitting that I'm overstimulated has helped me find a path through. I'm trying to understimulate myself right now, actually, and I'm doing that by spending more time with my immediate friends and family members. I'm not pushing myself to do things that aren't imperative right now to my survival. By admitting that I'm just a bit overwhelmed with all of that's going on, and there's certain things that I do need to do. There's certain responsibilities that I have, but by admitting that I'm overwhelmed and just like that I need this time, I'm realizing I can give that to myself, and I can stay in my window of tolerance. I can stay in this place where I'm not unpleasant to be around. I'm not unpleasant inside, actually. I have a 6-step framework that I work with my clients on, and it's really a derivative of the journey that I've been on. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of hours on this journey, and it all starts with just asking ourselves, being honest about where we're at now. Many of you know I'm a big proponent of journaling, and I don't think it's imperative to journal, but I think it helps so much when we allow ourselves to just like engage in the meditative act of writing. It helps us like flow. It helps us move with nature. It helps us later we can look back at some of those feelings and add them and make sense of them to what we're talking about perhaps in a later time. And it helps us understand like, oh, like this is what's going on. Oh, like I didn't sleep that night and I felt myself I felt myself angry, or I felt myself more anxious. We're able to really assess like where we're at, and it's able to help us develop patterns and to notice like what we need. This journey of life is about learning who we are and what we intrinsically desire, what we need to feel good, to live that life that is fulfilled, that is aligned, that is full of abundance. And it's been my experience through this entire journey that the more that I can just be honest with myself about where I'm at right now. Oh, you're scared right now. Oh, you're actually overwhelmed right now. Okay, in that case, let's look at the to-do list. Let's look at what's on my plate. Oh, we actually don't need to repot the flowers. We actually don't need to drive an hour and a half to go see that person. That's going to be okay if we see them at a later time. It's okay if we cancel dinner and stay home and watch a movie. It's okay if we don't do laundry today because we have a lot of clothes and we don't need to wash them today. We need to check in with ourselves and just be honest. And I've just been so interested and so perplexed that over these past few days, especially, when I check in with myself and am honest with myself, I'm finding myself moving with this flow of nature. And I think it's so important for those of us, if you're like me, you have an overactive nervous system, you've always been on alert, and your journey is trying to learn how to decompress, learning how to not be in that place where you're always on high alert. That's been my journey actually through these past few months, especially as I've been transitioning from my career. I noticed just how much, even though I've done all of this healing work, how much my body was still on this fast pace, like it was running a marathon. And I'm noticing this, like it's really changing everything for me, that just by being honest about what I am feeling. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, I actually really need a hug from David. Oh, actually what would really help is me sitting down and cuddling with Bruno. Actually, I need to give myself this day off. And I'm just realizing that how much control I have over how I am feeling, over the suffering, over the anguish that I'm feeling. There's so much that I can't control. I can't control why this happened. I can't control this person that a few days ago got out of their car in a parking lot and threatened to hit me if I didn't move my car. This actually really happened. It aggravated me. It scared me. It frightened me. And I got to see that if I were to be combative or if I were to provoke that more, it would have made things worse. But what's in my control? Accepting it. Letting him, blow his steam for a second. He stayed far away from me. It wasn't scary too much, but just like the old Matt would have reacted to that. And what I really wanted in that situation, and this is where the gold is, what we really want is we want to feel relief. I didn't want this man in my life any longer than he was. And by me just like giving myself what I needed, and what I needed was for this guy to go away as fast as possible, I was able to approach the situation and not antagonize it, not provoke him any further. What we really want in life is so often just to make a bad situation end, to make a painful moment stop. And when we start thinking about like, this shouldn't be happening, or this isn't fair, and those are very justified feelings. They're emotions that you're absolutely entitled to feel, and please feel them. But don't make it harder on yourself. Sometimes there just are no answers. I found so much relief in just controlling what's within my control. And that starts with me checking in with myself and understanding where I'm at, and that tells me what I need. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me today. If you go to risetoyourworth.com, my 6-step workbook is there, and it all starts with this question, with this inquiry of where are you now? In that workbook, you can use the call link to schedule a free 45-minute coaching session with me, and I would love to help you through it. I thank you so much for joining me, and I am grateful that you're on this journey with me. We are going to make it through. Have a great day.